What is happening, everybody? My name is Dean, and today we are going to be talking about the T20 World Cup, previewing all the teams, talking about all kinds of things, who's going to win, why they're going to win, and I say we because it's not just me. Today I'm being joined by the one and only Gareth GJ Weaver. Welcome to the channel.
Wonderful to be here, and I'm keen to talk all things 2020 World Cup.
It is going to be an exciting World Cup. It's in Australia. I know you're going to a lot of games. I don't know how many games I'm going to get to, but you're going to a lot of games. What are you looking forward to the most? What's going to be your most exciting game?
India, Pakistan, if weather permitting, it's probably going to be the biggest game of the World Cup. I mean, it's a sold out crowd. The atmosphere should be amazing, like nothing we've seen before in cricket in Australia for a long time at least. So yeah, that's probably the main one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I reckon it's a sneaky chance to break the attendance record that we had in 2015 for that final.
I got pre-sale tickets. I thought I would have got pretty good seats with that, but I'm like in level 3. I'm like right up there because that was like the only ones I could get. So I'm expecting huge things.
Huge things. All right, we're going to go through each team. Let's start with Group A. Who are the teams in there?
Well, in Group A, we've got Afghanistan, England, Australia, New Zealand, and then we've got those 2 qualifiers, which at the time of recording, not entirely sure who's going to make it through yet, but we'll go through the first 4 teams.
First team in Group A, we've got Afghanistan here. They're in that group of death, Group A, with England, Australia, and New Zealand, and then the 2 qualifiers. We think Sri Lanka could potentially be in that group if they do end up topping. Now, last year in the tournament, they actually picked up 2 wins, so we reckon this year around, they're going to be a sneaky chance to topple one of those top 3 teams of England, Australia, or New Zealand. But do you reckon they can beat both of the 2 qualifying teams?
Yeah, should be a good chance. I mean, they just love 2020 cricket, and they've been knocking on the door for some time now. I think they potentially could be the dark horses. They could cause a few upsets. I think they should be at least looking to beat both qualifiers coming in.
Yeah, that's it. And obviously, Rashid Khan's our play to watch because he's just very good, can spin it both ways. All right, Gareth, who do you want to go through next?
We'll just take a look at, we'll go England. Why not? So probably one of the favourites, I want to say, for the World Cup. They were coming off a semi-final loss in the World Cup to New Zealand in last year's World Cup. Expectations, I'm thinking semis or better. I mean, that's what the top teams are looking for, surely. And my play to watch is going to be Mark Wood. Now, in Pakistan, he bowled absolute gas, picked up 6 wickets in 2 games at around 7, the average. So, and he's just bowling with real heat. So I'm thinking he's one to watch, especially on the Australian pitches as well. I think he'll fit him quite nicely here.
I'm just trying to work out where the weakness is in England's game, because obviously they've got such good batsmen and they're so consistent, and obviously that's why they're one of the favourites to win the tournament. And then you've got their bowlers. Obviously you've got Wokes has been bowling very well. Woods obviously is the express pace in that seam lineup. I don't know, can you find a weakness in their team?
I mean, Topley's just been ruled out, so they brought in, I think, Tymor Mills. So maybe around the bowling, if they're like a frontline seamer down, it maybe, but they've got the batting. They've got Hales and Butler to probably open up, and then they've got the firepower with like Livingston, Stokes. So they are going to be very tough to beat. But yeah, I mean, if whoever shows up on their day, really.
Let's go through Australia. I'm sure everyone is excited to see them play New Zealand on Saturday. Coming off a win just 12 months ago. I think this might have been the quickest time ever between World Cups. So whether Australia can defend on home soil, they'll be expecting to make the semis. They'll be expecting probably to win, I would say, purely because it is on home soil. Now, I love Mitch Marsh, as a lot of Australians do, since the 2021 World Cup. He was a whipping boy for a long period of time. I think there was an article that came out the other day about how much he felt the love after taking Australia to a victory in that World Cup final last year. But what are your expectations for Australia in this tournament, Gareth?
Yeah, I mean, arguably they've got almost like a better team since last time round as well, especially with like the inclusion of Tim David. Josh Inglis just been ruled out, so Cameron Green's coming for him. So be interesting to see how they slot him in there. Who will they get rid of? Maybe like Stoinis on the chopping block potentially, because I mean Finch isn't going anywhere, so it's semis for sure.
Do you think they should be playing Steve Smith? I had a video the other day and a lot of people were telling me in the comment section Steve Smith needs to be in the Australian side. If they don't have him, can they still win without him?
Hot take, but I don't know if he should be there or not. I'm leaning towards no. I mean, look, he's a class batsman, but with the batsman coming up like your Tim Davids and that, it's hard to turn away from that. And I know he's a safe option, but I mean, yeah, got to maybe try something a bit different.
All right, well, he's out of the side until the collapse. Then the critics will come. All right, let's go through New Zealand.
We finished runners up last time, lost to Australia, of course. So the Demons are still there. Australia's still the big brother there. Expectations, look, they would be expecting semi-finals. I mean, at minimum, they'll be expecting to try and back it up, especially friendlier conditions for New Zealand. Player to watch for mine is Glenn Phillips, averaging 38 in the last 2 years in 2020s at a 155 strike rate. So he's pretty similar to what Tim David has for Australia. He needs to get going. I mean, my prediction is that we're going to miss semis. Australia and England probably going to go through, but I don't know. I mean, I'd love for them to go through, but I'm just used to being pessimistic about New Zealand, and unfortunately, I think we're going to miss.
Until Saturday night when they beat Australia and it just all goes out the window and we've got absolutely no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, that's when Trent Bolt blows out Finch's front pad. And
yeah. Well, I think that's expected even from the Australian fans' point of view.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, now we do have obviously two other teams in Group A. We don't know who they are at this point in time, but we think obviously those major four that we've just gone through are going to be the hard ones to get through. But let's take a look at Group B. We've got India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, South Africa, and of course the two qualifiers as well to come into that side. Gareth, do you want to take us through a team first?
Yeah, we'll start off with Bangladesh. So they actually didn't win any games last World Cup. So, I mean, only way is up from here, right? So
yeah, 0-5, I think, in the last World Cup, yeah.
Player to watch for mine is the seasoned campaigner Shakib Al Hassan. He'll definitely shoulder a lot of the load there with the Bangladesh side. I mean, he needs to fire for sure if they're in with a chance at all of winning. But I'm thinking out in the Super 12s.
Unlucky for Bangladesh there. Let's go through the South African team, which I think maybe surprised a few last year. They did knock off England in that Super 12 stage and then missed the semi-final just on net run rate. So they'll definitely be looking to get through to the semi-finals, I reckon. If they can knock off either India or Pakistan, they'll be half a chance to make it through there. I think Rabada is going to be absolutely key to how they go. But they've also got the two spinners of Shamsi and Maharaj. Whether they play them both in the same side could potentially spell trouble for some of the other teams. But I don't know whether or not in Australia, can you do it and play two spinners in a T20 game? That's going to be very interesting. It wouldn't surprise me if they do get through.
I mean, I've been to and fro with this one. I was thinking, like, early on in the year, they were playing some outstanding cricket, and I was like, yeah, these are ones to watch, especially with the inclusion of Tristan Stubbs. He's been hitting the ball a mile, so he's been a pretty handy inclusion for them. Recently, some of their forms hasn't been too red hot, so it is a pretty difficult sort of group. I mean, they both are, really, so...
Yeah, I think they did have a good warm-up game the other day. I can't remember who that was against, but...
Against New Zealand, I think.
Did they beat them?
We got rolled for 98, and I'm pretty sure they passed it, like, one down, maybe.
There you go. So you never know. On the day, that's the thing about T20 cricket, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just if you play well at the right time, you win the game.
Yeah, you have two or three players stand up and then, take it away from them.
Exactly. All right, Pakistan, how are they going to go?
They are my tip to win the World Cup.
Ooh.
It may be controversial, but they've been knocking on the door for some time. They lost in the semi-final last time round to Australia after that cooked innings from Wade, but I think the expectations heading in, they're sort of in the 2020 format, sort of in their peak era, I want to say, especially with the batting and some of the pace bowling. So semi-finals all better. Tipping them to win it, it's my tip anyway. But player to watch, Rizwan. He scored the most 2020 international runs since 2020. He scored over 2,275 runs to be exact at 63. And second to him is Babar Azam, who scored 1,700 at 39. So
crazy numbers.
Yeah, crazy. A lot of reliance is going to be on their top order, and then they've got some outstanding quicks in Shaheen Shah Afridi, Haris Rauf, and Naseem Shah. So
yeah,
if they fire, I mean, yeah, they could be one. If they're on, they're definitely one of the best teams in the world. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the final.
And of course, we've got the last team to go through today, which is India. They are taking on, obviously, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and South Africa. Getting knocked out before the semi-finals last year. This year, obviously, expecting probably to make it through to those semi-finals or better. They will be that expectations for them. And obviously, in Australia, they've had a pretty good record in recent times. I think they've won most of the bilateral series against Australia in both tests and the limited overs form. I know they come here and they generally pelt us in T20 cricket. And I am all on board Surya Kumar Yadav because he is absolutely hitting every single thing out of the middle of the bat. I don't even know how we got him out in the warm-up game because generally when he hits the ball, it goes for 6. And I think he's going to be one of the keys to India winning. They are probably not in their best form, and I think they could be a little bit vulnerable again. But I think they should hopefully get through to the semi-finals by qualifying in that Group B. What are you thinking?
Yeah, they're definitely up there. Of course, with Sky, he strikes it phenomenally well. So, but then also they've got a couple outs with Jadeja and Bumrah. So
yeah, that's going to be big,
who's going to come in? Yeah, so those are quite key players there. But I mean, they've got so much depth. They should be fine. Penciling in that India-Pakistan game is the game of the Super 12s. Gonna be unreal.
All right, so we've gone through the groups, but who do we think is actually going to win? Who's going to be the best players in the tournament? Let's go through. Do you mind if I go first?
Oh, by all means.
Oh, great. All right, so I think Australia are going to back it up. I think they're going to win. And I think they're finally going to beat England in a T20 game, which they haven't been managing to do for quite some time. Obviously, they got beaten in last year's World Cup. They've been beaten in the warm-up games and in the series, I think, before that as well. So I think Australia will finally get one back on England, on home soil. I think Josh Buttler, though, is going to be an absolute dominant force through this World Cup, and he will be the top run scorer. He'll be challenged, though, by Josh Hazlewood, who will take the most wickets. But I think either between like Buttler or Hazlewood, whoever wins that final will be the player of the tournament. I'm hoping Josh Hazlewood will be that, but I think Buttler, just because I think he'll just do too much with the bat. And my surprise sort of moment of the tournament will be South Africa when they make the semi-finals and potentially knock out either India or Pakistan. I think India might miss the semis. That's my surprise.
No, I sort of agree with South Africa. Could be the surprise packet there. I think they've definitely got the players there to cause sort of upsets. So yeah, I sort of agree with that one. But I'll head into mine. So as for the winner, as I mentioned previously, I've gone Pakistan. I just think they are peaking at the right time, and it's gonna be close, but I think they should get the job done. And I think they're going to be beating Australia. I think they're going to get a bit of revenge from that semi-final last year. And then the lead run scorer, I'm going to go Rizwan. He's already scored the most runs the last couple of years. He's in some form. He's going to surely back it up, hopefully. Lead wicket taker, I've gone with you as well. I've gone Josh Hazlewood. He's improved leaps and bounds in the white ball stuff, and I think he's definitely one of the premier frontline bowlers in 2020 cricket at the moment. Player of the tourney, I think it's going to be Rizwan. You can't have Hazlewood be player of the tourney if they're going to lose to Pakistan. So yeah, Rizwan with the most runs will get the job done. And the surprise packet, we've already seen one hat trick in the qualifiers, but I'm tipping there's going to be another one. Not too sure who's going to do it, but that is my surprise packet. Another hat trick.
All right, everyone, that is our predictions for this upcoming T20 World Cup here in Australia. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a World Cup. You can check in with us, though, throughout the tournament, because not only are we doing this predictions video, but we're going to be keeping you up to date with all the news and sort of how the tournament is unfolding. So you can keep up with us every single week through this World Cup. Might not be every day. It'll be every couple of days, but we will have some sort of wrap-up to get you through to the end of this tournament. Gareth, what are you thinking? Is it going to be a great tournament? Is it going to be the best T20 World Cup we've seen yet?
Oh, for sure. As long as the weather holds up, I'm expecting huge things here. So, yeah, bring it on.
Bring it on, indeed. All right, we will see you all later, and leave your predictions in the comments below. Goodbye, everyone.